In this video, I'm going to show you how I made over $4,000 in one single week. But first, don't take my word for it. Here are some of the incredible results that my exclusive members have achieved trading this exact strategy. This strategy has also allowed me to get funded over $300,000 in the last 90 days. And in this video, I'm going to break it all down step by step. This trading strategy involves the ICT power of 3. However, what I've done is put my own spin on it to make it fully mechanical, fully defined, and to make sure that all of the rules are black and white. At the end of the day, the only way that you can succeed is by using a mechanical framework. So let's go ahead and jump straight in. Okay, so the first thing that you need to understand is a daily directional bias. Then what you need to do is pair that with an ICT power of 3. And let me just break down exactly what I mean by that. So let's say that this is the Asian session high right here. What we're going to look for is a run of buy-side liquidity above the Asian session high. This right here is what we call the ICT power of 3. And then once we've seen the run on liquidity, we can look for our entry model to get short within the market. And this has to be during a kill zone. And then what we will use is clear invalidations and targets. So let's say we have an invalidation above the liquidity sweep, target a mechanical 1 to 2, and then you're kind of in and out of the market. So, pairing all of these together, our directional bias, the power of 3, kill zone timings, and invalidations and targets is really how we can create a objective mechanical framework in order to get an edge within the market. None of this makes sense without directional bias. None of this makes sense without the ICT power of 3. None of this makes sense unless you're executing during a kill zone. And none of this makes sense if you don't have a clear invalidation in target. So now let's look at some live trade examples that allowed me to make over $4,000 just this week. So the first thing that you need to understand when you turn up to the markets is your directional bias. It's very simple to do this. And a lot of people use some very complicated ways involving daily charts, higher time frames. And to be honest, the most efficient way that I've found to do this is using the 15-minute time frame and using the 50, 100, and 200 exponential moving average. If the 50 is less than the 100, which is less than the 200, like this example right here, this indicates that we are sell bias on this market. And all that simply means is that the momentum is to the downside if we just zoom out here, and therefore going with the trend makes a lot more sense. And you can simply add these to your charts. It's literally the EMA 20, 50, 100, and 200 by Dr. Sweets. And when you open the indicator up, you only need the bottom 3. This is the 50, 100, and 200 EMA. So now that we understand directional bias, the next thing is the ICT power of 3. And in order to do this, we need to mark on buy side and sell side liquidity. And we have that resting above the London session high and also the Asian session high. One of the most common questions that I always get asked is, what is your session indicator? It's this one right here called Trading Sessions by Sonar Lab. And then what you need to do is have these sessions right here. So we have the Asian session from 12 o'clock midnight until 5 a.m. The London session 8 until 10 a.m. New York session 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. We're also set in a GMT perspective. However, once you've placed these settings, you can change your time zone to wherever you are. If you're in New York or the UK, wherever, it doesn't matter. And the kill zones will be correct. Okay, so an ICT power of 3 is simply when we sweep session-based liquidity. So you can see right here during the pre-New York session, we're sweeping the buy-side liquidity above the London session. So this is an ICT power of 3. We're simply waiting for a bearish confirmation. And remember, this needs to occur during the New York session, which is between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. That is from a New York perspective. You can see that we confirm right here with a bearish close. Therefore, we can enter on the break of this candle low. So if I just mark that on right here, the break of this low, invalidation will go just above the liquidity sweep. And then we're just looking for a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Bearing in mind, this is on the 15-minute time frame. So make sure you are using correct risk management. We're triggered short in this trade right here, and then we instantly get stopped out right here. And you would rather know, like, just rip the band-aid off right now. Tell me if I'm wrong, right? And that's exactly what happened right here, which ended up being a losing trade. And that is absolutely fine. So this is -1R right here. And then we're simply waiting for another confirmation. We confirm again right here. And therefore we can enter on the break of this candle low with invalidation just above the liquidity sweep. And this time we're targeting again, just a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So we're triggered if we break this candle low. So let's see if we are. So we're triggered short in this trade right here. And you can see during the New York session, this trade then melts to the downside, hitting our take profit for a mechanical 1 to 2 risk to reward. We had clear invalidation above the liquidity sweep. Entry was on the close of the bearish candle, and our take profit was a mechanical 1 to 2. So, when we enter this position right here, it's literally either stop loss is hit or take profit is hit. There's no micromanaging, no interfering, just literally allow the trade to play out. And yes, you can see the trade then actually melted further to the downside. However, it's not our job to be able to capitalize on all of this move. And in reality, we're never going to be able to. So just taking repeatable mechanical 1 to 2 R's out of the market is more than enough when you're trying to scale your funding capital. And we're never going to be right 100% of the time here. And to be honest, anybody that says they are just completely lying. Anything around a 40 to 60% win rate with a 1 to 2 risk to reward is really where you're trying to be. And my win rate is around 50% with a 1 to 2 risk to reward. And that is really where you want to be when you're executing within the markets. This is also a realistic win rate. And some months it's going to be more. Some months it might be less. But in general, over 100 to 200 trades, my win rate is around 50%. And knowing this really gives you the confidence to scale your funding capital, to be more aggressive with funding challenges, and just seeing them is a sort of business expense. At the end of the day, it's very important to not put prop firms on a pedestal and to leverage them to your advantage. We're not looking for home runs here. We're just looking for repeatable, small, bite-sized pieces that we can take out of the market over and over again, trading a mechanical system. And as you can see, the first trade was actually a loser right here. And I just want to show all of my trades, right? Whether they're winners, whether they're losers, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you guys are on this journey with me. And therefore, sharing my winners, sharing my losers is one way that we can learn from them. And also a great way for me to share and be very transparent with all of you guys. So this is the exact strategy that I personally use every single day within the markets. And it's this exact mechanical system that has allowed me to get funded hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you also want to become funded and consistently profitable, then make sure to join my free Discord community. The link is in the description down below. However, anybody that wants results faster, then make sure to check out my exclusive community and one-on-one mentorship. But please note, this is only for very, very serious traders. The link is also in the description down below. Thanks for your time as always, and you take care, guys. Bye-bye.